So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So here you are again with me, DJ QIS
DJ Intan
in Tea Talk Final, then your finest tea. So today Intan, who we have together with us?
we have IDAYU MUMTAZ.
Yeah.
Hi,
so
Assalamualaikum.
hi.
Thank you,
IDAYU.
Sarah and Intan.
Okay, sure thing. So IDAYU, so welcome back.
Thank you.
Because last time you have been one of our guests, is it?
Yes.
In IIUM FM.
It is always inspiring to enter this conti.
Yeah, of course. You can feel the vibe, right?
Yes.
Can you share your experience a little bit about last program that you came for this?
Last program, it
Yeah.
was an event by Mosque Carnival.
Okay.
And I perform a poetry, spoken word poetry. So it's not
Okay.
just reading poetry. And I performed 2 poems. It's overall inspiring, especially I think we get to meet other people from Muslim care Malaysia. I think that's the best part.
I see. Because like our DJ Intan pun one of the
Committee
committee.
of the
So Intan, do you
Yeah.
get to meet her during Moscow?
we met after the concert, right?
Yes, we met.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So not Intan lah,
Yeah,
not
sorry.
Intan but Dayu. I would like to know more about you, like your full name, from which kuliah, since you are one of our students also, right? And asal mana, also your hobby. So you can start with your name first.
Okay, my name is IDAYU MUMTAZ binti Iskandar, and I'm majoring in Usuluddin and Comparative Religion. I'm from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, and my hobby is reading and
Obviously.
watching a lot of YouTube.
Watching a lot of
YouTube.
YouTube.
Crime
Oh.
investigation.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
How about writing?
Writing, I write. I'm most inspired to write when I feel strongly about something. So sometimes when I have to do my assignments, but when something happened, like I meet somebody and they say something wonderful, I will have the urge to write, and I will write straight away. It's not something that I would I could force. I would say,
I
yeah.
see. So like, would you refer to other works to write?
Yes, I think referring to or reading other people's work give us the chance to recognize and identify what styles we like and what styles we don't like. And when we have more vocabulary, we can articulate ourselves better. So, for example, I remember reading something I wrote when I was 12 years old. It was so bad because I don't have a wide range of vocabulary. But now when we have discovered new words and new thoughts or new way of thinking, we know that I actually can express myself in 10 different ways. So
10?
yes, at least like, because there's this saying that goes, we can always say something in 10 ways.
Oh, I see.
So
Wow.
see, what is the 10 ways that you can express it?
Oh, for example, like thank you, we can say I appreciate you, or I like,
Oh,
many different things
I
mean one
see.
thing. Yes.
So the vocabulary is getting wider.
Yeah.
You know, like instead of saying thank you, you say I appreciate you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. At least I learned something new today. Because here in IIUM, we acknowledge that there is an what do we call that? IIUM Today. IIUM
yes.
Today is for the journalism students.
Uh-huh.
Do you know about it?
Yes. I know they usually write articles on the website.
Yes, yeah, they have websites. So like, don't you think of joining them? Writing news? What do you
having a
think about?
spot for yourself.
What do you think about writing news instead of poem?
Writing news.
Yeah,
I would
because I'm more to
love to report things,
Okay.
and however, I would want to try that. But on the other side, I'm a very emotional writer. I would say. So, for example, maybe I can report on the conversations that I've encountered. Yeah, because I feel very strongly about things. I like something, I don't like something.
So are you afraid, or you just don't feel like joining yet? Yet? Or what do you
Not
think?
like not joining yet, but for the meantime, perhaps it's a matter of commitment,
Yeah.
whether I can fit it in my schedule.
Yeah, sure. Then, are you have interested into joining the IIUM FM as a DJ? Since you
The first time I came here, first like I noticed the vibe is so, it's different. Like when I get into the library or I go to the swimming pool, I feel like I'm in a different place. And the third place is IIUM FM Conti.
Oh.
And honestly, I like to listen to a lot of podcasts where they interview people. So I would want one fine day to interview people I look up to bring the way you can bring
Maybe one day
anyone.
you can be one
I
of our
should.
DJs.
I know, right? I should. I want to ask
Oh my
very personal
God.
questions to some people
my
and share it to other
God,
people.
yeah.
So you're very lucky actually to
Yeah.
actually make this right decision.
Because like actually we are from radio production class.
Uh-huh.
Radio production class is a class for electronic media students. We are from electronic media
electronic
courses.
media.
Yeah, and then this is one of our assessment.
I see.
Yeah, this is one of our assessments. So throughout the sem, we're gonna invite guests like this and then interview them. So
What's the biggest challenge of?
The biggest challenge is I think
To finding the guest.
find the guests because we try to find like big name like artist, singer, any singer or actor, but then they're always busy. Their schedule always packed. Sometimes they reject us. Yeah, we always got rejected. So once we accept our invitation, so I was so honored. Thank you so much for coming again.
It's my honor. It's my honor. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Then
Really? You don't. Okay.
sorry.
Since this is your second time, I think.
Yeah, my third.
Third.
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Second, third.
The first one. The first one, it was English, and the second one was Arabic. I didn't remember what was the topic.
Oh,
The first one, the Arabic one, we reviewed a book.
Oh, I see. So you guys are conversing in Arabic?
Yes,
I
but
see.
my Arabic is just the basic one. So
Basic one, because I also can understand Arabic, but also the basic one because I can understand, but to speak fluently, I don't think I am able to do it because I'm not used to conversing in Arabic in daily basis, so I need to practice more.
same, and also I think it's very important, and I'm so thankful when I'm given opportunities like this because it could be many other people, but
Yeah.
when I don't know how to speak also when I finished high school, but when I entered IIUM, some of my friends, for example, they gave me emceeing jobs. So that was the times when I started to have the confidence more and the desire more to be
Like, before
involved
this,
in
do you-
activities.
Lack of confidence, or you just don't talk?
Before this, I couldn't speak
Oh.
in front of. I remember when I was,
Okay.
I think I was 11 years old, and we
11,
have,
okay.
so we have this one, we had this English teacher. She always made us to speak in front of the class. So since then, I always see, like we have our parents or our sisters speaking in front, giving lectures, for example. But I also I asked myself like, how would it feel like to speak also? So when we joined one competition, I joined, and we have a prepared speech and impromptu speeches. So of course we can memorize speeches for the
Yeah.
prepared speech.
Yeah.
So during the impromptu, I couldn't answer it fluently. But of course I won like the second place. So it's just a small competition. But the most important thing that I've learned is that at least I tried.
Yeah.
When the part we
Of course,
try,
yeah.
then I know, next time I want to try again.
At least.
Yeah, we shouldn't take the losing
Yeah.
moment to our heart, but that trying part. So, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, at least to succeed is your determination, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the MCing. You MCing in Arabic or in English?
In English usually.
English.
Yes.
So how you practice your Arabic with? Like you said, you can.
I don't
speak
practice. No. Because I cannot speak that fluent.
Yeah, but
I think no. Usually when we have presentations in class, I would have to prepare what I have to say and find the vocabulary.
I see.
So, but I can give you a list of names of my friends who can speak Arabic fluently. If you want to invite them next time,
Yeah,
yes.
of course, because we also have slot Arabic, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Yes.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when is it. I'll inform you later. I'll confirm with you later. But in case they want to come and like promote something or just come and to be a guest.
Yes, they are inspiring, and
Yeah.
but one thing in common that I would say, join debating club, which I don't do. So I'm just passing the advice to you. Yeah, they said like if you wanna, because not only we speak but we learn to think.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to think in a language except to speak that language.
Wow, that's very mashallah, that's very impressive.
Yeah, IIUM is a place of inspiring people.
Yeah,
So
true that. So we have know the introduction of IDAYU MUMTAZ, and now we're
Yeah, IDAYU, I have a question about you. I have go to your IG page and I found your entry blog.
okay.
Wow, you have blog.
It's very personal. Okay, then.
Okay, then it's amazing that you have in 2018 you have 62 entry.
Oi.
It's a lot. It's in just
In
For-
2018.
I think
10
because
months.
I started journaling since like a few
Journal?
months ago.
Oh, really?
Journaling. Yeah, I think the time has been moving very fast.
yeah.
So I have this anxiety that what have I done? So every day I try to write like 10 things I'm grateful for. That's all lah. You know this tak ada tu 60. No.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so macam for 30 days you'll have 30 entries lah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I miss lah the
Oh,
part.
every day you update your blog?
Yes.
Oh, what's the URL?
IDAYU MUMTAZ.blogspot. Oh my god, it's very personal. Like I know people won't read it. No, sure, but it's okay lah. That's why it's public, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But I never
so guys,
announce
go
it
to
like this.
IDAYUMumtaz.blogspot.com. I repeat, IDAYUMumtaz.blogspot.com. After
The
this,
star is an off.
I'll go and I'll go and
I have to check back.
Twill and check it out. Because once ago, I was also a blogger. Yeah, I started blogging since 2011. No, 2009. But I started to be more serious lah. In 2011, I started to post entries. Like I made it as my diary, as my daily diary.
Right.
So I update my blog frequently at the moment, and then until one time there's less connection of Wi-Fi, so I stopped updating.
Right,
That's the
yes.
reasons. But yeah, indeed, it is a, what do we call it? I can say that it's very easy to express your feelings there.
Yeah.
Because I know when you can express your feelings into words, there is one feeling that you maybe you can feel me, maybe you can feel me because
I think we are all in this generation, macam internet generation.
Yeah.
When I got my first phone when I was 18.
Seriously?
Serious. So 18.
Yeah.
But when I was 30, form 3 I had my first laptop. So
Okay.
then that's how I discovered Tumblr and Blogger and Twitter. You know, like we sign up everything and MySpace, Friendster.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I find the difference between like Blogger or Blogspot or WordPress blogs.
Okay.
You can become very personal and try not to prove anything. Because for example, when we upload anything on Instagram, the culture, I said the external culture, like they take into precision all the filters, angle, which is okay lah. Orang nak aesthetic kan.
Yeah.
But when on the blog, because I know nobody is going to read my blog. No, because until my dad baca kan. Oh my god.
Oh, your dad baca.
Yeah.
Your dad finds out ke?
Yeah.
How come?
Dia baca. I think because I shared on Google Plus. I don't know why I shared Google Plus the link. No, so macam he discovered something like that lah. So,
Yeah.
but I feel, you know, that freedom when you can write something without
Yeah.
having to please anybody or try to prove anything.
Yeah.
So I love the freedom that Blogger gives you.
Yeah, because in blogs also people don't judge us when we
Yeah, because
write
maybe there's no
something.
like button.
Yeah.
It's not, but in the comment section also
Yeah.
people-
We can off the comment section if you want to. Like, there's no judgmental person, and then you can do whatever we want. No judging, no bashing.
Even if people don't comment, like one time somebody like disagreed. I don't know who's this person.
Commented on
I
your
wrote, yeah. So I wrote about
Yeah.
studying tips lah.
Anonymous?
No, it's a link. Usually like names.
Yeah.
If it's not
Yeah.
anonymous, there's
Yeah.
you can link to
Yeah.
them. But
Oh.
something about he disagreed. okay, it's a he. I don't know it's a he or she,
Yeah.
but I read about like how to study for SPM lah. For example, lah,
Yeah,
you know, kids kan we
Yeah,
do. Then he said, oh, school is not success. At school is not success in life. And banyak lah dia cakap.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dia cakap
Okay.
students who score usually cannot do other things, a lot of things lah. But the thing is like, since not many people use Blogger, but when you have that effort to actually comment on my blog, so I believe you want to have a conversation,
Yeah.
for example.
But it's he or she has affect you.
I became
This one
more
comment.
conscious when I try to write, but then
okay.
I won't let. It's weird when you don't know people in person. You don't really mind. If our parents macam marah us, we would feel sedih lah kan.
Yeah.
But this macam some random stranger, so I don't really
Oh,
mind. lah.
Alhamdulillah you're not affected. Because
Yeah.
you know, if you think too much about it,
Yeah.
you get depressed, you know. So
Yes.
it's fine, it's okay. Because tak semua orang akan puas hati kan. It's okay, anggap itu as pengajaran. And learn lah. At least you learn something.
Yes,
So
and we
take
shouldn't
it
be afraid
positively.
to express ourselves
Yeah.
and be corrected. How can we be
True,
corrected if
true.
we don't
True that.
articulate, right?
Betul. So, okay, pasal minat, okay, minat. I am eager to know, how come you boleh minat poem? Poem. Poem or I can say writing sebenarnya, to be general. Is it poem
Alright.
or writing?
Poetry for me, I would say I like writing,
Okay.
really putting my feelings into words.
Okay.
On the other hand, poetry is helpful, is a useful tool when there's something that I'm feeling but I don't know what the conclusion is. Or when I want to appreciate something or somebody, it allows me to really like when you know, put this feeling into a portrait. If, for example, we write in a journal, so we just write, okay, so today I pergi makan dekat Evoque, blah blah blah.
yeah.
So, but when we write poetry, when I write poem, I don't know, I'm not a journalist. I don't go to like journalism school or belajar poetry or read Shakespeare every night. So, but I'm talking from a perspective of somebody who feels a lot of things and have the passion to write everything that I feel. So when I write something, for example, I write a poem for my mom, so we will choose particular words, and why we put this word in front of the other. It's like, you know, when we draw something, for example, we draw a portrait, we paint it over and over again, we want to make it perfect. Is this exactly what I feel? No, so change the word. Instead of like just writing some basic journals, we just write anything, but this one it's very particular. So poem or poetry, I would say it sort of immortalize whatever feeling we have in a beautiful, artful way. So people know that, for example, I can meet you and I say, I miss you, then we go home. But if you know that that feeling is intense, whether it's love or anger or anything, so we take the time to read. Because for me, even though when you see something is very short, I wrote, but sometimes I consume a lot of time to write something to make sure that this is exactly what I feel. Yes.
So you put them into words very particularly and
Yes.
nicely. I see.
For writing, sometimes we write. I believe that when we talk or when we speak or when we do public speaking, we should use language that is accessible to other people.
Yes.
There are jargons, like so difficult
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
So I like writing also using languages that I can easily understand, and I know most people can understand it. But for poems or poetry, sometimes it becomes personal.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
becomes yours. So, for example, like last time Moscow,
Yeah.
I wanted to write. They told me that it's going to be about refugees, Palestinian and Syrians. So, whenever I write something that is that serious, it's about war, I have to have research because I don't go through the war. So I read this one book, No Turning Back by Rania Abu Zaid, if I'm not mistaken. Then it changes my perspective. So usually we think like, oh, people in Syria, Palestine at war, but actually they also want to protect their home. So imagine something taken away from you and you want to protect it with all your heart. The reason why they still stay, even though a lot of them, many of them, they want to, for example, seek refuge in Turkey or any other places. But one of the reasons why also they want to stay is that because they dream like for the next day, maybe if we wake up, this country will be free and it will going to be a good life. So when I write about that, sometimes I wonder what is the right poem I can write. But when I write something, when I try to write with the mentality that I want to meet the expectation of some people, it's so hard for me to write. So sort of I said, okay, what feels right to me? Yeah, so that's the challenge. Like I have to be honest with myself. Yes. If not, whether I want to meet the expectation. Of course, I want to give them the best, but I have to keep in mind to be honest with myself about how I feel after reading their stories. After that, then I will show, for example, my father or my family and ask them, how do you feel when you read this? So yeah.
So like you write not to only express your feelings, not to only impress people, but to make them feel the emotions of what you are writing. Okay, I can see that. Wow, that's very wow. Because sometimes people, some writers, they write just to impress people, like okay, orang suka aku punya ni, so macam dabik dada. Ada some lah, I know some lah.
And especially contoh macam kita we already write something honestly, then suddenly people say, I like writing. Jadi so the next time we have, aku tulis ni orang akan suka ke tak. But I realise sometimes, like surprisingly, ironically, my pieces of personal writings that people can connect with, can relate with, are the ones that I try to be as honest as possible. So it's weird.
Very ethical.
We become vulnerable. And sometimes when I write something, you know, when you read my blog or even my Instagram post, sometimes I praise people. Inspiring people. Sometimes I feel like, am I being too clingy or too expressive? Like, nanti orang cakap, why are you so macam don't praise people that much? But that's how I feel. That's how I look up to them. Maybe people will change in the future, but that's how I feel at that time. So I have to say it as it is. And I realize that don't be afraid to feel something that is sluggy. It's not against the Sharia lah.
Of course.
But it's okay to own our feelings and thoughts and experiences.
Okay, I see. Very good.
Yeah, because almost semua yang dalam entry you kan, everything about.
She stalks you, you know.
No.
Research.
Yeah, because she likes to read the poem. Everything. That's why. Okay. Sorry potong. Okay.
Tak, because bila baca entry you yang the latest is 7 October, I think.
Okay. What's it? Okay. And
7
then
October today is 10, right? Wow, but
alright.
3 days after. Before.
Actually, bila masuk start semester, I want to stop social media. But you know, like we have events, so I have to share.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
so you keep on updating lah.
After this, we have to stop. Assignment dah.
Janganlah.
Don't stop lah. Multitask je.
The reason why I bagi private pun so that I won't spend so much time there. Okay, then.
Yeah, because
Sekarang lah.
the recent one, I think because you speak about your day. Yeah, how you get tak cukup tidur, then the 10 things that you're thankful. Yeah, then macam impressed macam wow, she is amazing person, macam dia boleh letak dalam satu ayat tu yang bagi impact to people yang read.
Macam wow, ni baca entry ke baca kamus?
Kadang-kadang
I'm very impressed with the words that you use. You're really good at words lah, I can say. Very good.
It
Superb.
touch our heart bila baca.
What's about the 7 October?
Yeah.
7 October is about, I don't know.
No, I mean, why?
Why?
Yeah, what do you would you comment on that? I mean,
Comment now.
Komen now. Ya, nak komen tak komen sebab dia macam
bukan komen. I mean comment in general.
Comment in general.
Macam bukan semua orang boleh boleh express dia punya diri kan, in a beautiful words.
Oh.
So selalu if you baca dekat Twitter, Instagram or even any IG story pun kan, diorang post without thinking. Macam okay, saya happy pap happy, macam dia tak susun ayat tu, macam okay.
Yeah. I think because the reason why I still take time to write particularly and exactly what I go through certain days is because I want to remember that event for the rest, for some years to come. Sometimes things I don't post. Or for example, one time I had this wonderful conversation with Dr. Mazwati. Is it okay I mention it?
It's okay. It's okay.
So she, like Dr. Mazwati kan?
Of course, yeah. Kenal.
Lepas tu macam, and she jenis very open. So macam I jenis banyak soalan. So dia jawab. Okay. And her experiences are nothing like I've ever heard before. So that time, usually when I write in my notes. Because macam notes phone or Microsoft Word, we can delete, easy to edit, right? So instead of writing by hand, so I write, but I haven't finished writing it.
Okay.
Because there are details that I haven't include, or sometimes people say A but we say B or A.1, so we are not quoting right. So for example, like that, sooner or later I want to write it, and there are many drafts that I have not posted. The thing about posting is that the internet will take care of it, right? That's the beauty. But there are things that I really, conversations that I really appreciate and I really treasure in my life. I haven't let the internet treasure it because I haven't finished writing it. So on Instagram or Twitter, very short things we can write and share it with the world for the sake of, if not, one time somebody asked me why do you bother to write, or why should we write at all. It's because if we don't write, somebody else will describe our life for us. For example, when we read history, like outsiders will describe this particular community, how they live, what they believe. Maybe it's true, maybe they are objective about what they experience. But when we write about the particular experiences that we go through, not only we describe the experiences, but how we feel and what the people mean to you. So that's really something.
Okay, so last but not least, after kita dah bincang pasal your poetry apa semua ni kan, pasal writing semua, so I want to ask your point of view lah. What do you think about today's generation? Like, ada chance lagi ke for poem ni untuk berkembang? Because nowadays we can see that Gen Z lah, our generation mostly nowadays, they don't really they read and write. They're more to surfing the internet, anything, apa je Google, apa je kita tahu, apa-apa je Google, tak pergi dah library apa semua kan. So what do you think about the art of poem in the future?
In the future, I'm not very sure, but I would say when I see my sisters, I have like 3 little sisters, and I would advise them to read and write, because from reading and writing, input and output, we get to know ourselves, how we feel, instead of just because this news says this or this person says this, oh, I also feel like that, I agree. Kan usually lecturer tanya, do you agree with this? Yes, you agree. But when we write, we have no other choice but to confront ourselves, to really say what we feel and what we think, and then another stage is to offer that writings for public to judge, for other people to judge it and give feedbacks, because that's the whole point. I write for me personally to know myself, like what I like and what I dislike, and am I being a good Muslim or not, a good student or not. Because when we journal our days, then we see is it a productive day or not. So yes, I hope writing and poetry are the methods and tools we can use to know ourselves better, because when we know ourselves better, we can treat other people better, then we can have empathy for other people.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Then so
okay, for last one, I think like, okay lah, sana kata-kata, kita pun tak boleh nak determine juga future tu macam mana, but hopefully art of poem ni tak akan mati lah di telan zaman apa semua, because you can see how impressive it is, how
impressive poem effect to people.
Yes, it makes us human.
Actually, yeah.
If not, we have all this technology, which is a good thing, but we have to still keep whatever that makes us human. For example, this conversation and poetry, one of the ways. Then writings, the books, literature. So there's something that pure science and mathematics cannot teach us the way literature and language can teach us.
Yeah, true that. Okay, so now the last request. I ada request lah. I want to listen to
you.
your poem.
Yes.
Your art of work.
My pleasure.
Your masterpiece. Okay, sure.
So this is a poem that I've written
Okay.
for last time, the Moas Carnival at Sounds of Light charity concert, and this is written after the book No Turning Back by Rania Abuzet, about the struggles of the Palestinians and the Syrians. Okay, so the title of this poem is Home. Because personally I miss my family every day. So, but they are safe and sound, inshallah, alhamdulillah. But think about those people who lose their houses and home and their family members. So this is a poem for them. We recognize home as it awaits in the garden. Arms pumped and ardent for the tightest embrace. Home is those light bulbs drifting between street signs, honey-colored and bright like your sister's eyes. Like a diary page, home witnesses all the love you've held. But home cries. When airplanes tie up your spine as you try to fly, home disappears. When bullets clack and rubble rain as if there were not enough bodies on the streets, their eyes staring into heaven as if to ask for redemption. Perhaps we will recognize the walls. How it used to be playgrounds where laughter of children lingered and bounced. Portraits of families stretched all around, but sometimes walls turn political. Sometimes walls are triggers. They send Kalashnikovs and battle tanks to wipe the ground red. They wipe the ground so red children forget how to play. Children forget what hands do except to pray, except to pin their chest on maps to find home. Perhaps we would still recognize the doors. How a gentle knock used to be a neighbor with bread, not the beginning of these endless threats. But now, children sit behind closed doors with dreams competing in their heads. They dream of becoming journalists, doctors, philosophers. They dream of cutting open the questions of humanity, a story of dignity, a fight to bring back the tongue of a brother who picks up the language of war before he could lift his spirit. Now tell me, how do you recognize home when home is where you lose everything? And what does it mean to recognize anything when home is taken away from you? Because no matter the moons on our feet, no matter the stars within our reach, your lungs will always breathe to the heartbeat of your land. So let home be restored, even if it means to bleed to the bones. Let the flag and lights take its place in the air. Let the spine be freed and fly away. Let these words and tears be all the more reason to bring back home. Thank you.
Wow, okay. Tepuk sikit. That was
Thank you.
It's amazing.
very amazing, very family kind of poem. I can. It's not that I can feel it fully, of course lah, because
Usually we have to repeat it, watch, like even when I watch poetry online, we have to watch it a few times.
But at least I can get the idea of your poem. It's very nice.
Thank you,
so
Kiss.
nice,
And Intan.
So now we're gonna wrap up.
Yeah, I think
We have come to the end. It's 7:01 p.m. now. So IDAYU MUMTAZ, thank you so much for being
Thank
here with
you.
us.
I thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Christina and
for
Intan.
sharing your
Thank you so
poem as
much.
well. And then for sharing your URL, your blogspot.
your
Okay.
blogspot.
Go and check out her blogspot, okay? Her blog, okay?
Thank you guys.
Okay, and so we'll see you
See you
again.
again next week on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday as usual, 6 to 7 p.m. with me,
Yes.
Jackie.
Stream with them.
Yeah.
Don't forget our campus rate IIUM
And don't
FM.
forget to subscribe to all of our social medias as well. So thank you from
thank you.
me, DJ Christina.
DJ Intan.
Tea Talk, final then the
Final
finest
day.